Your
The
Honor,
oh, go ahead, Ms. Falk.
so sorry, Your Honor. I totally unrelated, just checking in to make sure those last four cases, they brought the defendants over for SAP.
Yes, this
This
morning.
morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this afternoon they did. We finally finished up with those cases about 20 minutes ago.
Okay,
So,
thank you so much.
yes. The SAP reset date is going to be September 12th. And courtroom 2, whenever you all are ready.
All right, we are ready. I don't,
Your Honor,
Yes, good afternoon, Ms.
good
Abbott.
afternoon. So I was unable to speak with 4 of 5 clients today. I was wondering if I can get breakout rooms for them and I can place that in the chat.
Okay, go ahead and do that. And I don't know if
I guess I can just talk to them on the phone.
Okay, you might have to do that. I know that we have limited personnel at the jail, so let's see if we can, if you'll place in the chat which clients you're going to need to speak with, and we can start doing that. And maybe is Ms. Kim with you today?
Yeah, I think she may have the same issue, but I don't know if she was able to speak with anyone. She's on, looks like.
Also, Your Honor, I have one conflict, but I have not been able to speak with him yet.
Okay, that's going to be one of those days. That's fine. Okay, so courtroom 2, it appears. Ms. Kim, are you on with me?
I think she's talking to a client right now.
Okay, she's
She's on
talking.
the phone right here.
Okay, so it appears that most everyone of the public defenders will need to speak with someone. So I don't know how best to accomplish that. Do you have more than one phone there?
We will take Ms. Abidan's number, and she can make she can talk to some clients. But we had about 4 or 5 people already talk to somebody. Maybe it was Miss Kim, but
Okay.
we definitely
So
will end with those whenever the court is ready. But we will take your number if you want to put your number in chat.
okay, if you'll just put it in the chat so that they can call you. And when Ms. Kim gets off the phone, let's take her number. And we also have Ms. McLeod who's going to need to speak with her client. So.
And she also can put her number in the chat. I know she probably gave it to me earlier, but can you put it in chat?
Okay.
No.
Okay, so we'll be in recess until someone's ready to proceed. Hi, Ms. Kim, are you ready with some of your cases?
Yes.
Very good. And have you had the opportunity to interview everyone that'll be your client this afternoon, Ms. Kim?
Yes, I have. Thank you for being patient with us.
Oh, no, that's fine. I understand. The SAP calendar we just finished up about 30 minutes ago, so that required patience.
Thank you.
So courtroom 2, we're ready with Ms. Kim's clients whenever you're ready.
All right, I don't have a calendar, so I will call out their names
Okay,
with Oliver Tyrone. Oh, no, he's still talking. Phillips. Philip, that's you? You talking to Ms. Kim, right? Oh, come on now. Come to the green chair. Okay.
so I think this is position number 8, Devonta Phillips, is that right?
Yes.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Phillips. I'm Judge Eric Moore. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? We're doing this by video. Is that okay with you? Was that a yes?
Yes.
Thank you. You have been charged in case 23 CR 005238Y with simple assault family violence. Is there a history?
The defendant has 33 cycles. The defendant's last arrest was June the 29th, 2023 for criminal trespassing with the Georgia Tech Police Department. That case appeared to be still pending. The case number is 23 CR 004077Y. And the defendant does appear to be on probation in Cobb County for false imprisonment. That disposition date was October the 11th, 2017, and the term is for 10 years. In addition to that, the defendant appeared to be on probation in Fulton County for battery, family violence, 2 counts. That case number is 21 SC 178123. That disposition date was June the 30th, 2021. 1 year of confinement and 2 years of probation. And also, he appears to have an outstanding hold out of Marietta, Georgia, for a probation violation. The date on that warrant is August the 2nd, 2023. The defendant does have prior misdemeanor sentences and convictions. The defendant received a nolo contendere sentence in 2019 out of Gwinnett County for driving while license suspended or revoked. And there was one in 2017 out of Cobb County for simple battery, one in 2016 for battery, family violence, one in 2015 for criminal trespassing. And he does appear to have a history of failure to appear. It's one in 2023, one in 2019, one in 2017, one in 2015. In addition to that, he has a history of probation violations, one in 2023, one in 2022, one in 2019, one in 2018, one in 2016. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Nemini.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This incident happened last night at 247 Camila Lane, Northeast Atlanta. Officers were dispatched due to a call about a suspicious person at the location based on an email that the property manager has sent about a Black male in the area who was impersonating a security officer. And it sounded like the person was in a dispute with a Black female in front of the leasing office. Upon arrival, the officers noticed the person described in the call was the defendant. He was in a Black security t-shirt arguing with a woman holding an infant in her arms. Officers were able to chat with the victim, Ms. Valencia Watson, who advised officers that defendant had threatened her and pulled out a knife and that she had been trying to leave the area. Additionally, She told officers that they were at the gas station and defendant became irate due to the argument, and then defendant turned aggressive and was holding a pocket knife. And once the parties arrived at the apartment, defendant proceeded to slash her rear driver's side tires and threatened to stab her and making her feel unsafe. She did tell the police that he never put his hands on her or lunged towards her with the knife. However, nearby witnesses and neighbors say that she was on the balcony when she heard the dispute and heard the threats and saw a defendant being aggressive with her, but he did not hit her. When officers spoke with the defendant, he agreed that they were arguing but denied having a knife or threatening her, claiming that it was Miss Watson, the victim, who was threatening him, and that she hit him in the mouth with the shoe. However, no witness corroborate those allegations, and no knife was found on his persons. Considering that defendant is a convicted felon, his criminal cycles range from 2012 to present. Bond is currently at $5,000, and the state is asking to increase it to $8,000 cash bond. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons, to stay away from that specific location. No further contact with Ms. Valencia Watson, which I would like to sound for when at the appropriate time, and family violence intervention program. And Your Honor, based on his criminal history, I have a simple battery from 2020 that you provided, and he took a guilty plea, and it was on the plea that he would have no further contact with Ms. Valencia Watson. Another family violence battery case, cruelty to children, where he was sentenced to 1 year confinement, and then another one out of Clay County in 2022. The state feels the $8,000 cash bond is more than reasonable considering his criminal cycles. And I would like to sound for Ms. Valencia Watson, who is on the call right now, Your Honor.
Ms. Watson, if you would like to address the court, I'll need for you to unmute yourself, and I'll have to swear you in.
Yes,
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down, ma'am. Thank you. What would you like to tell the court?
That I would like to just have a no contact, completely no contact with me, no contact with the children. And that like over the years, things have just been escalating. So like prior to, there was physical violence, and now there's weapons being involved. And so I definitely just want to just stay away from him.
Okay. Anything further, Ms. Watson?
No.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Your
Ms.
Honor,
Kim?
if I could interject,
Yes.
I'd like to ask Ms. Watson, are you in fear of your life? Are you in
Yes.
fear of the defendant? And
Yes, I don't believe that he has self-control. And I'm hearing new things even today. Like I thought that he actually worked at the location. I was trying to be helpful, and it's like, yeah, sorry, there's a train. So I'll just leave it there. That I don't want to continue to keep this cycle going. It's been ongoing for a long time.
Yes, and Your Honor, the cases that I have cited, they have all included Ms. Watson. And the state will also like to add a third-party transfer for the children if you allow him to see his children, even though Ms. Watson disagrees. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 30 years old. He was born and raised here in Georgia. His mother's here. He has a place that is separate from Miss Watson. They don't live together, Your Honor. So we have no objection to stay away and no further contact at all. And he is willing to stay away. However, there are 5 children with her. 10 years old, 8, 6 to 10 months. My client wants to have a relationship. So we ask for third-party transfer to make sure that he has a chance to spend time with his kids. He says that he actually works at that location, 2470 Camellia Lane. That's his workplace, the condo. He works as a security. He's been doing that for about a month and he wants to keep the job. He graduated from high school. He denies the allegation. He says this is completely false charge, that he is just extremely frustrated about. Your Honor, my client does not do any kind of drugs or alcohol, and we would like to request that $5,000 surety bond remain as set. Actually, we want it to be decreased to $2,500 since he has a lot of financial challenges. Thanks, Your Honor.
Well, Ms. Kim, I am concerned that he has not only violated a court condition, he has violated one of my court conditions. And one of my court conditions, which placed him on probation, was that he was to have no further contact whatsoever with Ms. Watson. So it appears that he has not only violated that condition of something that I issued, and you know how I feel about that. As such, it's going to be a $5,000 cash bond, no further contact with Ms. Watson. He can only go back to the Camilla Lane address if he is actually employed there. He's to have a third-party transfer of any minor children for visitation, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Phillips, judge has ruled, please do not say anything. It will work against you. You have a right to remain silent. Please call me if you have any question. Please call me later.
Whenever you're ready, courtroom 2.
There you go. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Your Honor, Mr. Oliver.
Okay.
Ron Oliver.
This is position number 7, Mr. Oliver. Good afternoon, Mr. Oliver. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
So, Your Honor, salutations to you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Oliver, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005237A with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
The defendant has 16 cycles. The defendant's last arrest was November the 25th, 2019 in Fulton County for a failure to appear. The defendant does have one felony sentence. He received first offender treatment in 1994 for the violation of the Georgia Controlled Substance Act. The case was sealed March the 3rd, 1994. And he does have misdemeanor convictions. It's one in 2015 for affray, one in 2006 for criminal trespassing, one in 2005 out of Douglas County for theft by receiving stolen property, and one in 2003 for possession of marijuana less than an ounce, one in 1991 out of Cobb County for driving while license suspended or revoked, and one in 1990 for driving while license suspended or revoked. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Nemini.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened May 16th of this year at 532 Cleveland Avenue, Southwest Atlanta. Officers, a 911 call was placed by the victim, Ms. Tanika Clark, which stated that she was being assaulted by her boyfriend at that specific location. Officers responded and took Ms. Clark's report and documented her injuries. The parties had gotten into an argument which upsetted the defendant, and he punched her in the face allegedly one time, but it resulted in a laceration above her left eye. Based on his cycle, the parties are in a relationship and they do live with each other. The state is asking for a $4,000 surety bond to stay away from that location if it's not a shared address. No further contact with Ms. Tanika Clark, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and 1 day of anger awareness.
Has your office had the opportunity to speak with Ms. Clark, Ms. Nemini?
No, Your Honor, not to my understanding.
And I don't see Ms. Clark on the line, but if Ms. Tanika Clark is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. McLeod.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 61 years old. He is a native of Georgia. He tells me that he's a graduate of Atlanta Area Tech. He is the father of 2 sons who live at home with him at the present time, a 19-year-old and a 20-year-old. He tells me that the younger one, the 19-year-old, was shot multiple times and is essentially disabled. So he continues to be a dependent and he takes care of him at all times. So he's concerned because he tells me that when he's not around, his son tends to act out because he doesn't understand when he's not present. So he's quite concerned about getting back home to take care of him. My client denies that he is in a relationship with the alleged victim, Your Honor. He tells me that he's known her and they have been friends for upwards of 20 years. He denied that he struck her, Your Honor. He says that is absolutely not true. He also denies that they live together. He tells me that she actually lives in Alabama. And on that date, the 16th of May of this year, she just happened to be visiting. He got home and she was there with his sons. And she was about to do some drugs in his house. And he asked her to leave and discuss an argument, but he denies that he struck her. I would ask the court to consider giving my client, if not a signature bond, because I do understand that he has some history, Your Honor, but no history of violence based on what I heard, and certainly not of any domestic violence. So if the court would consider a signature bond, but if not, a bond not more than $1,000 good bond would be what we'd be asking. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
Yes.
so the state was able to speak to the victim, and then she did clarify that they aren't in a relationship anymore, but they were, and they don't live with each other anymore. But the incident location is the defendant's location, so the state wouldn't be asking for a stay away. But she did want it on the record that she hasn't talked to him since this incident occurred, but she is in fear of the defendant and she does not want any contact at all. And I would like to sound for her in case she's here, because she did say she was going to be online today, Your Honor.
Okay, I believe that I already sounded for her, Ms. Nemini, but if not, if Ms. Clark is with us, now it's your opportunity to speak. Okay, doesn't appear so. It's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial per the judge, 1 day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Clark, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck. You're welcome, Ms. McLeod. Good luck to you, Mr. Oliver.
Thank you,
Your Honor, that concludes
Honor.
my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good afternoon. Thank you, Ms. McLeod.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Robinson, Jamie Robinson.
Mr. Robinson is position number 9. Good afternoon, Mr. Robinson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Robinson, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005239G with willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor, this is going to be a bond surrender. The defendant has 4 cycles. The defendant's last arrest was July the 19th, 2023 in Fulton County for a failure to appear. The defendant does appear to be out on a signature bond through pretrial services for possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute. That case number is 23 CP 215373. There were no convictions listed in the GCIC. I do see an outstanding hold out of Orlando, Florida, for a failure to appear. The date on that warrant is May the 24th, 2023. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Nemini?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened yesterday morning at around 2:30 a.m. at 808 McDonough Boulevard, Southeast Atlanta. Around 2:30 a.m., officers were dispatched to the location, which is also known as a Texaco gas station, in reference to a trespassing call. Upon arrival, the officer saw 15 to 20 males standing outside the gas station parking lot and near the gas pumps. The clerk that called stated that he wanted the parking lot cleared because the store had closed at 2 a.m. As the officer was clearing the parking lot, he noticed 2 males, one which is the defendant and another unknown male fleeing in the vehicle of which he was investigating at the location. As the officer approached the 2 males, he advised that they had to leave the premise. He was told that they were waiting for their Uber, and he told them that they would have to wait on the side of the building instead of the front of the building. And as the officer cleared the parking lot, he noticed a blue Kia Forte with a temporary Georgia tag left at the location with no one around to claim it. And he ran the tag and the vehicle came back to a red Nissan Sentra. And as the officer was investigating the vehicle, an unknown male approached the vehicle in an aggressive manner, asking why the officer was so close to his car. The individual was told that the tag was wrong, and the individual got irate and told the defendant to throw him the keys, in which the defendant threw him the keys, and that individual got into the car and opened the passenger doors for 2 other unknown males. The officer went to stop the other males from entering the vehicles, and one of the males was able to get inside and the vehicle sped off. And then the irate man ran towards Fisher Road, and the officer told the defendant not to move and to get on the ground, and then he was transported to jail. Bond is currently set at 10,000 surety. Your Honor, the state is asking to reduce it to 3,000 surety bond. If there's no conditions of alcohol, drugs, weapons, we ask that you add that. Stay away from the location at 808 McDonough Boulevard, Southeast Atlanta. And that's it, Your Honor.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 24 years old and he is currently residing with his mother. And Your Honor, he has a good solid address, and he's from Georgia. And he also has one daughter who is 2 years old that he is taking care of. They live together at this point. Your Honor, he's been going through a lot of job searching, and he has interviews lined up. However, he has been unemployed for the last 1.5 months. So he does not have any income and no means to pay for any bond. So we would like to request for a signature on bond. And Your Honor, my client denies allegation about he just didn't know anything about it. He doesn't know those people. It was just, he just tried to kind of do whatever the guy was yelling at him to give him the key. But anyway, we believe that 3,000 surety bond will be a very, very high for him. Thank you.
Okay, it's going to be $1,000 surety bond. Stay away from the Texaco gas station on McDonough Street, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Robinson.
All right, thank you.
Mariah Cephas, Judge. Ms. Mariah Cephas.
Okay, this is position number 10. Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Cephas. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 005240A with theft by taking. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
The defendant has one prior cycle. The defendant's last arrest was December the 9th, 2022, for misdemeanor theft by taking in Clayton County, Georgia. There was no disposition for that arrest. And the defendant does appear to meet the criteria for a UJR through pretrial services. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Ms. Nemini?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened July 9th of this year at 2947 River Ridge Drive in Atlanta. The officers were dispatched to a location concerning a larceny call. That defendant had taken Miss Deja Miller's Apple iPod headphones, her house, and her car keys. Upon arrival, the officers noticed that the victim was walking in the middle of the street, in which she informed officers that her ex-girlfriend, the defendant, was upset at her for attempting to leave the home after spending the night. So defendant had taken her keychains containing the AirPods, house keys, and car keys, and ran outside to hide in the backyard. And when Ms. Miller followed her outside, the defendant took off running down the streets and into the woods. When the officers got there and approached the defendant, she claimed she was afraid to come out and a chance that she would get arrested, claiming that the items were left in Ms. Miller's car, but after checking, they were not there and the car was still locked. And then the defendant did say that she placed the keys in the front part of the woods where she initially ran into the woods, but they were unable to locate those items. Ms. Miller provided the officers with cell phone footage with the missing items and defendant refusing to return them while they were in her hands. On the date of the incident, to this day, the items have not been returned. The state is asking for a 3,000 signature bond through pretrial. No further contact with Miss Deja Miller, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons or guns, and no stay away because I believe this is the defendant's home, but if it's not, to stay away. And I would like to sound for Miss Deja Miller if she is on the Zoom call today, Your Honor.
If Ms. Miller is on the call and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Does not appear so. Ms. Kim, if it's okay with you, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, no further contact with Ms. Miller, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, good luck to you, Ms. Evans.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oliver? Yes.
Mr. Bracy, Mr. Aaron Bracy.
It's position number 1.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bracy. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Let's see, Mr. Bracy, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005245H with public drunk, criminal trespass, and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Before I get the history, let me make sure that counsel for Mr. Bracy's on the line. Is this one of, is this your case, Ms. Kim?
No, I think this is PD Rachel Epton's case. I believe she's still interviewing other clients.
Okay. Do you have any other clients this afternoon, Ms. Kim?
No, I don't have any more.
So all the rest of the cases are Miss Abden's?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so courtroom 2, we're gonna have to pause until Miss Abden is free. So as soon as she completes her interviews, we'll continue.
Thank you.
So Mr. Bracy, if you'll just hang out for the court until we get your attorney here, okay?
Yes,
Thank
Judge.
you. Okay, we'll be in recess until Ms. Abden returns. Okay. Can I get an update from Ms. Abden as to where we are, please?
I was told that she only has a one person left, so almost done.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Kim.
Thanks.
Hello.
Okay, we ready to proceed?
Oh, I muted you. Thank you for your patience, Your Honor. I appreciate it.
You're fine, Ms. Abden.
So I am ready. I also need to request a breakout room on position 5.
Okay, we'll do that at the end.
Yeah, I figured.
Okay. So we had Mr. Bracy before us. Do we want to go back to Mr. Bracy?
Yes, that works.
Okay, and I was just about to get Mr. Bracy's history.
The defendant has 9 cycles out of Connecticut. The defendant's last arrest was October the 25th, 2017 in Connecticut for interference with an arrest and criminal trespassing. The defendant does have felony convictions. This one in 2017. Just said failure to appear. The underlying charge was not clear, Your Honor, in the conviction. There was one in 2012 for larceny, and there was one in 2011 for possession of controlled substance. And there was one in 2002 for assault on personnel, and there was one in 1999 for possession of controlled substance, and there was one in 1997 for no pistol permit. And he does have misdemeanor convictions. There was one in 2004 for assault, one in 2003 for DUI. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Nemini?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened August 28th, yesterday at the Holiday Inn, which is located at 909 Holcomb Bridge Road. Defendant consumed multiple alcohol beverages before being cut off for his visibly impaired state. Defendant became verbally abusive to the bartender and the front desk staff. Defendant had red, watery eyes. His speech was slurred, and he had the odor of alcohol on his breath. Defendant was asked to leave by the front desk staff, which he refused to do. Defendant then failed to comply with the officer and refused to place his hands behind his back and threatened to F up the officer if his handcuffs were removed. The state is asking for the bond to stay the same, $1,000 per count, the surety bond preset by the judge. Stay away from Holiday Inn at 909 Holcomb Bridge Road, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. The state was able to talk to the victim, who claims that they're in a relationship, they live together, and they share a child together. The victim confirmed.
Ms. Nemini, this is a public drunk, a criminal trespass, and an obstruction.
I apologize, Your Honor. I think I was reading the wrong.
Okay, I think so.
Yeah, I apologize.
Okay, no, you're fine. Anything further?
No, Your Honor, that's it.
Okay, Ms. Abden, if okay with you, it's gonna be a $500 signature bond through the jail on each charge, which makes a total of a $1,500 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Holiday Inn on Holcomb Bridge Road, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you?
It does, but I do have a caveat. I wanted to know if we can make that a surety bond. It is my understanding that my client wants to return to Connecticut tonight, and he tells me a signature bond will take 2 days. I'm new to the county. I don't know if that's true or not. I do think that a signature bond would be best, but maybe Your Honor has more information on that for us.
From my understanding, if I give him a signature bond, he'll be able to sign himself out. And if it goes to the jail, he'll be able to sign himself out through the jail. And as long as he has an address, he'll return for his next court date. So if you want me to give him a surety bond, I'm happy to do that. But
that is my understanding as well, Your Honor. I think a signature bond would be best, and I will I will let him know, and all of the conditions he agrees to as well.
Okay, very good. Good luck to you, Mr. Bracy.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
It'll be late on. Who's next, Judge?
You tell me.
You want to just, okay. Mr. Miller? And I do.
Okay, position number 6, Mr. Miller. Good afternoon, Mr. Miller. I'm Judge Eric Moore. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Miller, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005236A with simple battery. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant has 4 cycles. The defendant's last arrest was April the 25th, 2022 in Douglas County for burglary and criminal damage to property in the second degree. There was no disposition for that arrest. The defendant appeared to meet the criteria for a UJR, Your Honor. Nothing in addition.
Okay, Ms. Nemini?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened yesterday at 3030 Continental Colony Parkway in Atlanta, Georgia. Officers arrived at the location based on a dispute call that was, and they made contact with the victim and the girlfriend of the accused, Miss Ariel Burris, who advised officers that defendant had punched her when she asked him what he was looking at on his phone. She advised officers that defendant had been watching porn, and when confronted, denied it and argued to the point that he punched her. Nearby witnesses, the leasing officer and the caller, the person who called Miss Alicia Young, saw the incident and saw Miss Burris attempting to leave and defendant grabbing her and pulling her back into the apartment. The officers didn't notice any injuries. And I would like to sound for Miss Ariel Burris if she is online today. The state is requesting a 3,000 shorty bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, to stay away from that location, and no further contact with Miss Ariel Burris, Your Honor.
I see Ms. Barris on the line. Ms. Barris, if you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. You, of course, do not have to address the court, but if you would like to speak, you'll have to. There you go. Can you raise your lower your camera a bit, Ms. Burris? There you
Yes,
go. And raise your right hand for me. The other one. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
Yesterday it was just a simple altercation. I had assumed he was looking at and doing things that I didn't approve of, and I
Your
started
Honor, I would
arguing.
object to the witness discussing the facts of the case.
Okay, in this court, Ms. Abdom, I will have anyone that wants to speak to the court regarding the matter, tell me what they would like to tell me. I'll give you the opportunity to cross-examine them if you would like to. And anytime you have anyone that you will want to present to the court for me to hear from, I'll give you that opportunity also. But I'll let Ms. Burris tell me whatever she wants to tell me in this regard.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Burris. And again, if you can lower your camera a bit so that we can see your face, please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
Yes. So long story short, I became the aggressor. He never put his hands on me, but the altercation did stumble outside, but we were just arguing and the neighbors seen what was going on. He was bringing me back inside so it wouldn't be outside. He
Okay.
never put his hands on me or threatened me or anything like that.
Okay, and you did not call the police?
No,
And has this ever happened before?
no, sir.
And you're not afraid of him?
No,
Okay. Anything else that you'd like to tell me?
no, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Burris. We appreciate you being here this afternoon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, Ms. Abdon.
No cross. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, anything regarding Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Okay.
So Mr. Miller is 25 years old. He's lived in Georgia his whole life. He graduated from high school. He works at CKS Bottle Factory. He does maintenance. So he recently moved back in with his mom to take care of her. He's the sole breadwinner and the primary caretaker for his mom. She can't work because she has severe health issues. And so given that Ms. Burris is not afraid of him, he does not reside at this address, I would ask for no violent contact. He's okay with not returning to this address, and a signature on bond as he meets the criteria for unsecured judicial release.
Okay, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial per the judge, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ms. Burris, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Miller.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Ms. Collier next.
Okay, Ms. Collier's position number 2. Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Collier. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Collier, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005242Y with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
The defendant does not have any prior arrests on file, Your Honor. The defendant appeared to meet the criteria for UJR to the jail. Nothing in addition.
Okay, Ms. Nemini?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened August 26th at 3225 Matador Court, Apartment 8 in East Point. Officers met with Mr. Frank Rozier, who is the victim, who stated that he resides at the location with the defendant and his girlfriend. Mr. Rozier stated that him and the defendant got into an argument about the defendant's sister moving out. And then Mr. Rozier punched his computer and the defendant got mad and punched him in the face. Officers observed a deep laceration to Mr. Rozier's right eyebrow. Considering I think this might be her first arrest, the state is asking for a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services, a stay away from 3225 Matador Court, Apartment 8. No further contact with Mr. Frank Rozier, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And the state was able to speak to Mr. Frank Rozier, who confirms they are in a relationship, they do live together, and they do share a child. Mr. Rozier said that this never had happened before, and he's not in fear of the victim, of the defendant, but he does want contact with the defendant, and he wants her to return back to the home. Mr. Rozier is online today, but the state is requesting no further contact with Mr. Rozier, with Mr. Frank Rozier, even though Mr. Rozier wants contact. And I would like to sound for Mr. Rozier.
Mr. Rozier, if you're on the line and you wish to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Is this you on the iPhone here?
Yes, I'm on.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me, sir? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, what would you like you can put your hand down, sir. What would you like to tell me?
I want her to return home.
Okay, has this ever happened before?
No, sir.
Are you afraid of her?
No.
Okay, anything else you'd like to tell me?
I would like for her, if you can, to get a signature bond.
Okay, anything else?
No, that's it, really.
Okay, well, we appreciate you being here this afternoon, Mr. Rozier. Ms.
No
Allen,
problem.
okay, if it's okay with you, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial per the judge, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Mr. Rozier, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you?
Thank you.
Yes.
Sounds great. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, good luck to you, Mr. Rozier, and you also, Ms.
I
Collier.
have one more question.
Yes, sir.
Is she gonna be able to return back home?
Yes, sir. She's to have no further violent contact with you, so she can return to your residence. Okay.
Okay, today?
As soon as she's processed out of the jail. So I'm not sure when that's going to be, but we'll get the paperwork in and she'll be processed out either today or tomorrow, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
All right.
Hi. Thank you, Miss George. Morning, George.
Your Honor, we would need a breakout room for Miss George.
Okay, you want to do
Okay.
it fast?
So
Yeah, I
can
think-
we take Miss George last and,
Okay, I got you, Judge.
okay, thank you.
Your Honor, I just want to ask, there wasn't a stay away for Ms. Collier, correct?
No, there was not. It was no
Okay.
further violent contact.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Okay, and this is Mr. Frazier, positions number 3 and number 4.
No, Mr. Ibrahim.
Oh, this is Mr. Ibrahim? Okay.
Your Honor, I just wanted to confirm, we received an email stating that this was a DA transfer. So I did not conduct an interview.
I don't have a Mr. Ibrahim on the calendar.
Okay.
This afternoon.
Thank you.
Is this a felony transfer, Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor, and I can give the court the CP number. The CP number is 23 CP 221406. And that was transferred this morning at 10 a.m. to the felony first appearance calendar.
Okay, thank you. So Mr. Ibrahim will be seen by felony first appearance at a later time.
All right, Mr. Frazier is next, Judge.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Frazier. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Frazier, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005243G with theft by shoplifting and criminal trespass, and in case 23 CR 005244G with loitering and prowling. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
The defendant has 32 cycles. The defendant's last arrest was October the 25th, 2022 with the Georgia Department of Community Supervision for a probation violation. The defendant does have prior felony convictions. This one in 2019 out of Cobb County for possession of methamphetamine. One in 2017 out of Newton County for entering an automobile with the intent to commit a theft. And he does have misdemeanor convictions. This one in 2019 for theft by receiving stolen property, and one in 2018 out of Jasper County, Georgia, for theft by shoplifting. One in 2017 out of Newton County for simple battery, family violence. And one in 2016 for theft by shoplifting. One in 2010 for driving without a valid license. The defendant does appear to have an outstanding hold out of Blue Ridge, Georgia, for a failure to appear. The date on that warrant is January 26, 2023. In addition to that, he does have a history of probation violations. There were 2 in 2022, 1 in 2021, 1 in 2020, 1 in 2019, and 1 in 2018. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Nemini.
Yes, Your Honor. For the theft by shoplifting and criminal trespass that occurred June 10th of this year at 4735 State Road 138 in Union City, also known as the Walmart. Defendant went inside the Walmart with a backpack and concealed $123 worth of merchandise in the bag. Defendant had previously been given a criminal trespass warning on January 19th of 2023. And then for the loitering and prowling and criminal trespass, that occurred June 27th of this year at 4947 Cottage Grove Place, Union City. Officers met with Mr. Lionel Smith, who stated that he chased defendants out of his backyard. Mr. Smith has previously filed a theft report 3 days earlier for someone stealing scrap metal out of his backyard. On that current day, Mr. Smith saw a defendant carrying scrap metal and confronted him. Defendant dropped the metal and took off running. Mr. Smith, the victim, chased defendant to the Family Dollar, where police were contacted and defendant was arrested. And then defendant was transported to the hospital and then released instead of going to jail. Defendant is currently being held on 2 counts of entering auto 23 CP 221 3AA for felony first appearance in a foreign county hold from Fannin County. Considering that I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parole violations, the state is asking for the theft by shoplifting, criminal trespass to reduce it to 2,000 shorty bond, 1,000 for each count. To stay away from that, Walmart 4735, State Route 138, Union City, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and an anti-theft course. For this, for the second case, the loitering and prowling and criminal trespass, there's a 2,500 shorty bond already preset, but the state wanted to add the current charge and reduce it to 2,000 for each charge, each count. So 2,000 shorty bond total to stay away from the 49, 47 Cottage Grove Place, Union City, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, Your Honor.
Okay, just so I'm clear on position 4, my calendar only has the loitering and prowling. Do we have another criminal trespass? Ms. Bridgewater, do you have that?
No, I just have loitering and prowling.
Okay,
Your Honor, just to clarify, the state did file both and filed them down. I'm not sure if this is part of the issue with when charges have been added. We've been having some issues with Odyssey pulling both charges down when new charges were added.
okay. I just want to make sure that we give him a bond for everything that we have on there. So,
I'll add it to my calendar.
okay, so we'll add it on. Thank you, Ms. Abden.
Thank you, Your Honor. And just to clarify, so on position number 4, we're adding a criminal trespass, correct?
It's my understanding that the state has added the criminal
Yeah,
trespass.
that's what I meant to say. I apologize.
No, you're
Okay.
fine.
Thank you. So Mr. Frazier is 33 years old. He's from Georgia, lived here his whole life. He has his GED. He tells me that he currently is living with a friend named Cody, who he works with. They run an eBay store and he handles the shipping. His friend recently had him come move in with him and do this work with him to get him out of trouble. And he's been doing really well. He has 3 children. And he also tells me that due to a stroke that he had 8 years ago, he doesn't have any strength in his left hand. And so that's made working hard. And that's why this job and this place to live is crucial for him. I would ask that the surety bond of $2,000 would be reduced to a reasonable amount of $500 on each for both cases, or lower if the court is inclined. My client does not have the means to afford that, and I understand he has other felony charges and likely won't get out today, but I'm just asking for a more reasonable amount.
Okay. For position number 3, the theft by shoplifting and the criminal trespass, it's going to be a $500 good bond per charge, makes it for a total of $1,000 good bond. Stay away from the Walmart on State Road, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. For position number 4, the loitering and prowling and the criminal trespass, it'll be a $500 good bond on each count, makes for a total of $1,000 good bond. Stay away from Cottage Grove Place, no further contact with Lionel Smith, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. If he does not make bond by September 12th, which is the SAP calendar, if you'll have whomever's representing him, Mr. Abden, inform the court as to his other charges, and we'll either take a look at modification of the bond at that point in time if something happens with those entering auto charges. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Frazier. Let's see. And I believe the last one left is Ms. George, where we need a breakout room. So if myself, Ms. Abden, Ms. Falk, Ms. Kim, Ms. Nemini, if we can be placed into a breakout room. Yes, I said Ms. Falk.
Okay, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Grace. I would leave you out, Ms. Falk.
Thank you, Your Honor. I must have missed my name.
No worries. Okay, so good afternoon, Ms. George. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. We've had an opportunity to discuss your case, ma'am, with your lawyer and with the state. It's going to be at this time $1,000 good bond. You're to have no further contact with Mr. Gibbons and to stay away from his address on Altoview. We're going to have you go to another court, the mental health court, on Thursday so that you can be evaluated for the mental health court and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. On Thursday, you'll have the opportunity to speak to a judge and they'll talk more about placement for you, okay? All right. Good luck to you, Ms. George.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Great. Thank you, brother. Really concerned about my mental health.
Okay, courtroom two, thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Judge. Y'all have a good one.
You have a good one too. We'll see you next time. I have Ms. Bridgewater in court with me today, so as soon as she's ready, we'll go over the calendar.
Okay, once again, can everyone hear me? Okay, great. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be September the 12th. Position number 1 is being reset further notice with a total $1,500 SOB through the jail. Position 2 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. Position 3 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $1,000 good bond. Position 4 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $1,000 good bond. And we did add the charge of criminal trespass to this case. Position 5 is reset to the mental health court on Thursday, August 31st, with a $1,000 good bond. Position 6, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. Position 7, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. Position 8 is going to the SAP calendar with a $5,000 cash bond. Position 9, SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. And position 10 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
I have a quick question. Was for position 1, that was 500 per each count?
That was 500 each charge, making it a total of a $1,500 SOB through the jail.
Okay, thank you.
Any others? Okay.
If not, y'all have a good afternoon. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Bye, Your Honor.
Thank you, you as well, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.